Welcome back to the 31 Faces of Halloween, guys. How are you all doing? Today we're doing Annabelle from The Conjuring. I do believe she's a real doll, but she's more like a Raggedy Ann doll in real life. The one they have caged up. Anyways, I primed my face with my Smashbox Primerizer, and now I am putting on my Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation. It's a very light foundation, and it's very sheer. I just wanted to do a nice base first, and then I'm putting Kat Von D's foundation on top. I did want a very doll-like appearance. Prime your eyelids. I'm using my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion and Eden, like always. It's a very thick base for shadow. Taking my Morphe 35C palette, we're going to start with the eyes. Now, this look is inspired by the artist on Instagram. Her name is Akalina_ni_verba. I hope I said that correctly. I may not have. I apologize if I butchered that. I'm first for the eyes, taking a light gray and putting that as my transition color and going up towards the beginning of my eyebrow. And then I'm taking black and doing a very round shape on my lid and blending that up into the light gray that I did. We want to have a very doll-like appearance, so all of this shading I'm doing is more for shading, and it's not necessarily an eyeshadow look. It's just for the shadows and to kind of replicate the shadows that a doll has or that Annabelle has. Then I'm taking a very dark black and I'm really cutting out the inner part of that eye right there, as you could see. I did my eyebrows, but I end up taking them off and changing them. I put some Bobbi Brown concealer underneath my eyes, just a tiny bit, just to make our face look even more porcelain than it already is. Set that with some powder. And then here I took off the brows and I covered them. I have so many videos where I do that, guys. Just using a glue stick and some powder. Now I am bringing up that shadow kind of over the beginning of my eyebrow there, and I'm not really smoking it out on the outer part of my eye, just the inner part. Then I'm also smoking out the inner corner and underneath of the eye a little bit. Taking my Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX, I am putting that in my waterline. I'm also putting that on my lash line on the lower part there too, kind of dragging it down a little bit because we want our eyes to look more round than they actually are. Then taking some dark gray shadow and just lining that white and connecting it with the top down to the bottom. This will just make our eyes look super, super round. Now I am starting to make the inner part of our eyes look a little bit round. I'm starting to do some lines on our face. So where you would normally smile, there is a little smile line there. So I'm just accentuating that. I'm using a taupey type of a brown shade, and I'm just shading that in. Then also, I just keep smiling and looking at where lines are at. So I'm doing a little bit down there below my cheeks. And anywhere you have any lines at, just make those. When you smile, fill in those lines. Add a couple extra lines if you want to, too. Why not? I just want my smile to look really stretched out, even more stretched out than when I'm actually smiling. Because Annabelle is smiling the whole time. She's freaking creepy. Time for them brows. She's got them drawn on stick thin. They've got a nice arch in them. I'm just using some Mehron Paradise paint in black and just drawing on a line very simply. I do fill them in a little bit more in the front too, not much, but just a tiny bit. Just to make them look a little bit more like eyebrows and not freaking strings of licorice. Then I'm continuing with the shadow, just kind of making a circular shape from my eyebrow, where my natural eyebrow starts, and then bringing it to the inner corner of my eye. And I'm really defining that edge. I'm not smoking it outwards. I'm keeping the smokiness inwards from that line. Just really defining that shape. Also doing some black shading in those little smile lines we made. It's just going to help define everything. Then I am doing a sharp line along my jaw. Again, sharp, not smoking that out because her head would be like, you know how a doll's head is like connected? It would be a really sharp line. So keep it pretty sharp. Taking my LA Splash Pro Artist Body Art Liner in Alabaster, I'm starting to highlight some areas. So basically just highlighting next to those shadows and lines we created. Because wherever there is a shadow cast, there is always a highlight right next to it. This will also just make the makeup look a little bit more dimensional. Doing some blush, I used a magenta shade mixed with hot pink. And I just put it right on the apples of my cheek and left it really circular and round. Just blended it out a little bit. Then I'm going to take that same Mehron paint and I'm going to outline our eyes. I'm also going to outline these smile lines we did, right where we put the black shadow at. Then I'm taking some more black shadow and going up against those lines we just created, just to make sure everything's shaded in nice and smooth and there's no patchiness. If you do this, it makes it look more like a shadow, more realistic looking. I don't know how to explain it, it just really brings it all together. I'm also contouring my nose a little bit, just using a taupey shade and kind of making it look straight and round on the tip there. Blended it out a little bit just using my finger. And then I'm taking some white Makeup Forever Flash Paint, which is just a cream paint, and I'm highlighting some areas of my face, like the tops of my cheeks there, where it might be a little bit brighter because light is hitting the doll, and the doll is made out of plastic or wood. Also the tip of your nose and the bridge of your nose. Also do your Cupid's bow, and you can add a little shadow in between there like I did and highlight the tops of the Cupid bow. And then I'm just smiling some more and doing some more lines. Just anywhere where I feel like there could be shading added, just add shadows there. See, and I keep making faces at myself to make sure everything's in place and there's nothing to be added. Now I'm adding mascara. I am going to do a pair of lashes. Dolls usually have really long lashes, so. And then I'm outlining the underneath white area that we did below our eyes, and I'm outlining that in black paint like we did everything else. Using my Underage Red Everlasting Liquid Lipstick from Kat Von D, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my lips. It's like the perfect shade of red. Then I'm doing some more little dots on the ends of my smile there, just for some little dimples. Now for the neck, because her neck is not attached and there's a little crevice there, I just did a black line and I'm kind of shading the sides so it looks like my neck goes in a little bit, like it's popped into my shoulders or into my chest area. And just kind of shading everything. Then I went ahead and let my bangs down, and I am deepening that shadow a little bit more with black eyeshadow. First, I probably used a taupey brown color, and then I'm outlining that like we did the rest of our shading with black paint. And then adding a little bit more shading up against that line. I also took it up the sides of my neck a little bit more too. Just really gives that illusion that the neck's going in a little bit and that this really is a crevice for our neck to go into our chest. You can do this with your arms as well. Then I started shading like the indents on my neck as well, just with a light brown shadow, and also my collarbones. Now I'm taking that same white eyeliner and I'm adding some highlights to my lips, and also on other random various spots on my face that I felt like still needed some highlights. I did the corners of my eyes there where if I were smiling there would be indents, but I did it where there would be highlights, so the skin would be lifted. Kind of like crow's feet, I guess. She's been smiling for a long time. I would imagine she's got some crow's feet. Also highlighted the tops of my necks. My neck? I only have one neck. Just next to the areas that I shaded. And also on the bottom of that neck that we drew on. Added some little lashes on the bottom there, and now I'm taking my Beachberry Mehron Paradise paint and a brush with a lot of water on it, and I am doing some blood splatters now. She's a demon doll, so, you know, get some blood on her. There you go. And that's it for this creepy Annabelle look. You can take these little pieces and make a different doll if you don't want to do Annabelle. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this creepy look that I did. I think she is so creepy looking. Make sure you're subscribed to see all of my Halloween looks this month. And I will catch you guys in the next 31 Faces of Halloween tutorial.